Hello there. There's people here. That's amazing and awesome. I know it gets old, but I swear every time I do this and there's people here, I'm like, really? People? This is awesome. So, hi. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Friday nights are kind of my going live day now because I don't have to get up early to commute somewhere on Friday, on Saturday mornings. So, that's why I have reduced the amount of my lives. I thought I would have like more like open space for like pop-up lives at least the first couple of weeks. But this practice I joined, they filled my schedule fast. So, but that's a good thing. I mean, it is and it isn't. Like it's good that I have work. But it's not good that many people need it. But I'm trying my best to work myself out of a job every day. That's always my goal. Work myself out of a job. So nobody needs me again and I can go do something boring like, I don't know, I don't know, whatever a boring job might be. I don't even know. Who's here? Hey, look, it's Ben Bacon Bits. First one in the chat. Hi, Ben Bacon Bits. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. I thought I saw you challenging me to some kind of karaoke sing-off competition or something. I'm not sure if I know. You said it was Metal Love Shack? That sounds amazing. I have to hear that. Jason P, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a mod, and thank you for just being awesome. Oh, Crafty Witch says hi. Hi, Crafty Witch. She's in the background crocheting in preparation for her next show. Oh, I saw her Oogie Boogie. He was so cool. I love Oogie Boogie and I love Nightmare Before Christmas. That's been like I've loved that movie like since it came out. Um, my brother and I were obsessed with that, and I still love it. It's very nostalgic for me. Glitter on Glitter on the Highway. I don't know if I knew that one. I'm gonna look it up. Maybe not right this second, but I'll look it up so it can be stuck in my head with you. Love Shack, baby. Actually, the funny thing about Love Shack, when I was in middle school, um, I was in middle school theater, and the theater teacher at the time used to do what was called reviews, which was just like he would just like choreograph like lip sync numbers. Like he would have us lip sync because like middle schoolers can't sing, or at least most of us couldn't. And like so he would like choreograph it and we would lip sync it and then with like little skits in the middle, like just for fun or whatever. Like we did a lot of Monty Python sketches and stuff, and it was just like usually random collections of things. And one of the numbers one year was Love Shack. It was pretty funny. It was funny in that it was not not great, but funny. Whenever I think of that song, The Final Countdown, I think of Arrested Development and Job because it was his theme music to his magic show. If there are anybody familiar with Arrested Development in the house tonight. Hi, Seventh Son. Good to see you. Ahoy. I'm so glad you're here. The Final Countdown. I don't think I know this one. Or at least I don't know this part of it. I know the chorus of Final Countdown. I don't know the whole thing though. Hi, Mary, Bless to Crochet. It's so good to see you. I've been trying to Mary from Bless to Crochet. You guys, she is like knocking on the door of her watch hours that she needs. So y'all go over and check her channel out, please, especially if you haven't already. She puts up a lot of great content. I enjoy her channel a lot. And since I've been here, I feel like since I have been not streaming, like Ben has like started streaming on his channel, which is awesome, which I love, which like we've all known Ben on like needing a meeting for a long time. He pops up there and he does really fun streams and stuff on his channel too. So I'm enjoying seeing, all these like everybody pop up and like launch their own channels and their own lives and stuff. It's really fun to see people I know and, already love like on screen going live. It's really exciting for me. Chrissy's cosplay wardrobe. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Okay. Yeah. You're here as your cosplay channel. I love cosplay. It's super fun. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. Oh, Ben's been going back and forth. A frontal lobotomy. No more lobotomies, please. No lobotomies. We stopped those. I hope we did anyway. I certainly don't wanna be a part of any actual lobotomies. Thank you very much. Yes, please go show some support to Mary's daughter's channel, Chrissy's Cosplay. It's super fun. Well, now 261? Who has that? Do I have that? Who has 260? Is that me? No, that's somebody else. Mine's not that high. Mine was at like 220. You can tell like how awesome I've been about like keeping up with my own self. Not great. Oh, I'm 226. Okay. For a while I had this like idea of I want to have a video for every subscriber. Like, I have 200 videos. A lot of them are, like, really short. A lot of them are, like, karaoke. Some of them are lives. And for a while, it's like, I wanna make everybody so there's 1 video per subscriber, but, I'm behind. I think it's still doable, though. I think it's still achievable. I just have to go back and, go, record a lot of, more page 47s and shorts and stuff. Kudos to you for not using the song that must not be mentioned in your intro vid. Well, I don't have an intro vid, so I know you're not talking about me. You must be talking about someone else. I'm not that high tech. I don't have an intro vid. Hey, it's Sweet Tea. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Ben, I am sweet and completely innocent. Hmm. Sure. Okay. Okay. If that's the story we've got. All right. All right. But everyone else here might be a corrupting influence on you. Just say. That's funny. It's funny. And this is where I caught up, where I went to go get my Dr. Pepper because I am trying not to drink soda generally. And generally, I don't consume anything with calories after 9 o'clock, but I made an exception because it's Friday and I'm streaming. And so that's fun. Have I tried the strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper? I have not, but in the past, I have not really enjoyed like the flavored Dr. Peppers. Like I really have kind of in the past been sort of a Dr. Pepper purist. So I'm like afraid to buy a whole one and then like not like it and miss my regular Dr. Pepper, but I should try one. I should try one because it could be good. It could be good. Oh, wow, Ben, you gave up sugar altogether? That's actually harder than I mean, it's hard anyway, but it's harder than it sounds because sugar is hiding in all kinds of things. Like, it's in bread for crying out loud. Like, anything that's got high fructose corn syrup, that's basically sugar. It's just not very good sugar. So, it's hard to keep up with everything. Janet G, it's good to see you. I'm so happy you're here. I miss doing this every night, you guys. I really, really do. Miss J, J, you're here. I'm so happy to see you. This is so awesome. Oh, and Mon, both my big sisters are here. Hey, Mon, how's it going? How's it going? Oh, I feel like a family reunion going on here. Warren, I missed you. Warren is moving, you guys. I won't say like where because I don't want to like dox you, but moving is stressful, even if it's a good move. So Godspeed and safe travels if you've not started traveling yet. And I hope you're settling in if you already did. And yes, thank you for the reminder, Warren. If you're hanging out here, please hit either the like or the dislike button. It's okay if you don't like it. Just don't be a fence sitter. Have the courage of your convictions. That is what I say. You remembered. I'm touched. Let's see. Let's see. I am catching up with the chat. Pull your finger. What now? What now? I can't. It's on a screen. Like how would I even I don't know. I don't know. I am the kind of person who's gullible enough to do something like that. So like if you were yeah, like I would. Like if and when one day I meet you in person, probably I will fall for that. So just warning you. Crafty Witch. Say hello to Crafty. Crafty! Good to see you too. Good to know you're in the background, working on your crochet stuff. That's awesome. Let's see. Hey, it's Misha. Misha's here. Hi, how are you? I saw Misha in the chat on my other's keeper yesterday. My other Kim at my other's keeper was kind enough to have me on. We had a fun chat. My camera wasn't working then, but we had a fun chat. And you got to see my little avatar for an hour. But it was a great discussion. I really enjoyed it. Janet, yes, I'm so excited. You guys, Janet is planning on doing her first live stream next Thursday, midday mountain time. If you guys have not already subscribed to Janet G, please go over to her channel and subscribe to her, put notifications on so we can support her. I'm so excited. I'm so happy when my friends go live and, get that stuff launched. It's just a cool, like, even if you're not like trying to like grow your channel super huge, it's just such a cool way to get to know each other and connect with one another, like on another level. Like, we've all seen each other in so many chats. I feel like that when I finally get to hear people's voices, it's such a cool thing, because now forever, like for everyone whose voice I've heard, like when I see their comments in a chat, whether it's on my channel or on the lifeboat or, anywhere else that we hang out, I hear your comment like in your voice. And it's just a cool thing. I really enjoy it. Hey, Sharuyan Allegiance, how are you? It's good to see you. I guess it's morning where you are, so good morning. It is good evening where I am in North Texas. Good morning to you. I know that we have some folks in Australia down under where it is afternoon, I believe. Afternoon. Oh, now I'm above lobotomy. No, I'm not above lobotomistic humor. I just want to make sure we're not like doing actual lobotomies, because that was a very dark time in, in mental health care and psychiatry. We don't want to return to that. That would be no bueno at all. Um, this could be safe. No, I'm just kidding. Ben is not always the bad influence. He's a mischievous influence, not necessarily like the bad influence. You know what? This is a good point. Seventh Son says, I'd rather have a frontal lobotomy than to have a bottle in front of me. You know what? True that. If you're sober and that was one of your problem substances, then I can see that. Although, I don't love the idea of frontal lobotomies, but I get it. I get why you would say that. A video for every subscriber. I know which one is mine. Yeah, if I could make one, like, that would be even cooler. Like, at first I was just thinking, like, if I have this many subscribers, I want this many videos. But it would be cool if I could make one, like, with a little Easter egg in it for, like, every different person who subscribes to my channel. But, like, I can't see, like, a list, right? Like, I don't, like, if people don't show up and comment or show up to the lives, I don't necessarily know specifically who subscribes to me. When I get a new subscriber, I do get a little like notification like, hey, so and so subscribed to your channel. Yippee. So like I know who my newest person is, but I don't have like a running list I can go back and look at least not that I'm aware of. Maybe there's a way to do that and I just don't know. And I'm just YouTube naive or something like that. Zero sugar, creamy coconut Dr. Pepper. What? I didn't know they made coconut ones. Here is Janet's channel, you guys. Here's Janet G's channel. Yes, definitely subscribe. Put on your notifications so you don't miss when she goes live for the first time next Thursday. So if it's during the day, if it's like mid-afternoon, I might be at work. I might be in a meeting with a client, but I will, if I can't be there live, I will definitely be their replay crew. And I guess what I could do is turn my sound off and just like run it on my phone so that, for a view, but I'd rather be there, obviously. I'll have to check because typically I schedule people from 9 to 5, except on Wednesday when I work late and I work 12 to 8 that night because people like evening appointments. Oh, it's Chrissy's channel. Christina's channel is at 261. I gotcha. There's Chrissy's cosplay, you guys. Yeah, sugar is in everything. Is there anything left to eat now that you've given up sugar? Like, is there any food left at all? I guess that would be one way to do a weight loss regimen if I wanted to. Like, I could just say, well, I'm cutting out sugar. Oh, sugar's in all the food. So I guess I just won't eat. That would be effective, right? I think I'd be cranky though if I didn't eat it all. Hey, Maya, aka Allison Art Supply Hoarderland. It's so good to see you. Our friend from Norway. That's awesome. Awesome to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, Kim White. Thanks for being here. Hey, Kristen and chat. Thanks for saying hey. Hey, here's Ben Bacon Bits channel, you guys. Our very own Ben Bacon Bits, who we all know and love already. Warren is mid-move, visiting parents. Okay, cool. Is Umar Johnson a scammer? You know what? I'm going to like show my ignorance here. Sorry, I'm just going to show it out. I actually don't know who that is. I need to, you know, get educated on my current events. Um, they might be a scammer. I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of scammers out there. So odds are, if you think they are, they might be. I don't know. But I don't know who this person. So I can't speak to that. But I don't see any reason for you to come make that up. So I'll look into it though. Hey, Jesse Miller, unboxings and more. Good to see you. Good to see you. I have one of your recent videos in my watch later to catch up with queue. I love Jesse Miller's videos, you guys. It allows me to like vicariously shop without actually spending the money because she gets like the subscription boxes and stuff and she opens them up and shows you all the cool stuff in them. Are you a purist too when it comes to Dr. Pepper, Misha? I thought I was the only purist. I'm very dull when it comes to new flavors. I just don't conform. Yeah, I get it. Like, I guess I get the appeal. Like, if you go to like Sonic, they'll put all the different fancy flavorings in your soda if you want. But like, I just like the Dr. Pepper. Maybe because I don't drink it all the time, and it's always been my favorite soda. So when I do, I'm just like the original like plain sugar Dr. Pepper. It's perfect. With ice. I like ice in it. I like lots of ice in my Dr. Pepper. But I know people who like no ice. So whatever floats your boat. Ooh. Mary is at 2,250 watch hours. So I'm knocking on the door of my 3,000. Any help with those watch hours would be so appreciated. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna run your videos on a playlist tonight. I'm gonna fall asleep to your voice, Mary. I'm gonna do it. I remember at my old job that I worked from home, I would get so cranky working at that job. I would just be in such a bad mood. And I would just run her videos in the background because I find Mary's voice very soothing. It lowered my blood pressure. I really appreciated it. Hey, Rick Spicer's here. How did I miss Rick Spicer? Where's Rick Spicer? Somebody pointed him out. Where did his comment go? Why can I? There he is. Hi, Rick Spicer. Good to see you. Good to see you. Just arriving. And it looks like, thank you, Mary, for sharing Rick's channel. Rick puts up really fun, funny, uplifting shorts, you guys. So check him out if you have not already done so. Crafty Witch, you hopped in. Hi, all. Stopped in real quick to like and send love. Thank you, Crafty Witch. Love, love, love. Listening through Jason's phone. Okay, back to work. Got to work while I have the energy. Sure, I get that. I gotcha. You got to use that focus when you've got it. Got to make use of that. Here's Maya's channel, you guys. Make sure to check her out if you haven't already. And Crafty, she posted this cool crochet Oogie Boogie earlier today. I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. Let's see. Oh, the future photos. That's right, you guys. I gotta share with you. Mon, one of my sisters, one of our friends from Australia, sends me photos from the future for my lives because Australia is 16 hours ahead of me. At least Mon's part of Australia is 16 hours ahead of me. So I think of them as photos from the future. And I like seeing how pretty everything looks. It's winter there too, because it's in a different hemisphere, which I always forget. Ooh, it's got these beautiful fluffy clouds. It looks so nice. The pictures of the sky like that remind me of being like a little kid and like laying on the grass on my front lawn growing up and just like staring up at the sky and the clouds. That was so much fun. So beautiful. Oh, the fluffy clouds and the wispy trees. I love it. I love it. I was talking about that yesterday on my Others Keeper, how I want to see Australia one day. I want to see all the cool animals and the huge spiders and the venomous creatures and kangaroos. I want to see Australia one day. One day. My little one is not a great traveler yet, but one day he will be. I'm sure of it. Just not yet. And here is the lifeboat, you guys. I mean, I think everybody I'm seeing talking in the chat, I think I met all of you through the lifeboat or, an adjacent channel. But I guess that's for the replay crew. If you're on replay crew and you have never visited the lifeboat YouTube channel, please do. Please check it out. It is a great channel for connection and living your best life. It's where I met all of these fine people in the chat here. It's how I know everybody. It's how I have friends in other countries and other states and stuff. And how I met some people that I'm as close to as family members practically. I think I see all of you guys and I talk to you. I still do. Like even with my job, which I'm on YouTube less, I still talk to most of you like every day in some way, shape, or fashion, even if it's just in a chat briefly. And there are members of my family I don't talk to that often, like my blood family. Not that there's anything wrong with them. We just, that's just how it goes. So it's really, really cool. It's a great way to find community, especially if you struggle to physically get out of the house, if you live somewhere very rural, very isolated. It's awesome. I love this community. I love places like this. Okay, I clearly missed something because there's something to do with a bottle of olive oil happening here. I don't know. Do you guys know if like fancy olive oil is different? I've heard it is, but I've never tested this theory. Like usually when I run out of olive oil, I just like if I'm just using it for cooking, like I'll just buy like the store brand olive oil. Um, but I have heard like fancier olive oil is better some way, but I don't know if that's true. And I don't know if I want to like spend the money to test it and then have it not be true. So Mr. You call the Vegemite video. Well, you did call it, so I guess it's yours. Should I go around and like label them for you guys? You guys will have to comment on the previously recorded video that you want to call as your own, and whoever calls it first, I'll tag you in the video. If you do this, I'll do it. I'll tag you in it, or I put a link to your channel if you have a channel. Like how at the end of a pre-recorded video you can put those little like cards or like a little image pops up and it'll take you somewhere else. I'll put a card link in if you have a channel, if you go in and call the video as your own. I like linking to all of you guys anyway. So let's see. Ben Bacon Bit says I call whatever video KM picks her nose on. I don't think there's video evidence of me picking my nose, but if there is, I mean, you know what? Like, hats off. Like, I don't think there is. I don't know, maybe red light camera footage somewhere. I mean, let's be real, you guys. Hasn't everybody at one time or another? I mean, like you wash your hands, right? But I don't know. I don't know. And not in like polite company, but come on now. Come on. Mischief, are you being badly behaved because of bacon? Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of folks in the chat. Woo, need a break. Did I miss anyone though? It's easy to get lost. It is. It is. That is happening with me too. Ooh. Ooh, that sounds like a cool recipe. Recipe of 1 cup cottage cheese, 2 eggs blend and place on parchment paper with some spray. Cook for 30 to 40 minutes. Ooh, delicious and full of protein. Ooh, that sounds good. Like egg cups. That sounds yummy. I like that. I think I think it was Spray Cook. Right? That's what I'm saying. But I should be more open-minded, I guess. I'm open-minded about everything else. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Wow, Axl Rose sounds like Ethel Merman on their version of that song. Too judgy. You know what I've been into lately is Def Leppard. That's what I've been enjoying lately is Def Leppard. I don't know if I could sing along with it very well and have it sound like halfway decent, but Def Leppard's fun. Def Leppard's fun to listen to. I enjoyed it a lot. Aw, Chrissy's cosplay says, I love working with dogs. One day I hope to do it full time. Dogs make me happy. Dogs are awesome. Some dogs are, I mean, There are dogs that are superior to a lot of humans. I love humans, don't get me wrong, but dogs are often very straightforward, you know? Very straightforward. Mm, cool. Chrissy's cosplay wardrobe says, Kristen, my mom set up a merch store for me and Alfonso did a logo for me. So cool. That is awesome. I'll go over and check it out. That's fantastic. That's wonderful. You don't want to meet a cassowary? Okay, I don't know what a cassowary is. Someone will have to fill me in. Someone will have to fill me in. Yes, in Australia, even though it is winter, it is warm because it's Australia. Oh, hey, you guys. This is a great resource if you are, I mean, it's a great resource anyway, but especially if you have a smaller YouTube channel and you're looking to grow and connect with other small channel creators. Tuber Chat is an awesome resource. The guy who runs it is really, really kind and really, really helpful. He answered some really, really, there's like some questions that I have about like how YouTube works and, do I, is posting karaoke videos going to be a problem for me? So lots of experience and lots of opportunities to meet cool people. I met Jesse Miller unboxings from Tuber Chat. So it's great. It's great, especially if you are just now starting your channel. We joke about the cassowary all the time in my family. My husband raises game birds as a hobby, and we joke that he needs a cassowary. I'm going to have to look up cassowary because I'm not sure what it is. I assume it's some kind of bird. Oh yeah, this is the live on my other's keeper that I was a guest on last night. I think maybe my picture wasn't working because I had the wrong camera hooked up. Like I think it was defaulting to my like the camera that's just in the Chromebook and it's not a very good camera. So for olive oil, extra virgin is best for some reason. I guess I could just like virgin. Well, see, here's the thing with olive oil, they have extra virgin and they have extra extra virgin, and I don't understand like how is that how is that possible? If we're being, if I'm being a smart aleck, how is that possible? How can something be extra virgin? But I think technically for olive oil, the word virgin refers to like the filtering process. Maybe I'm not positive. I'm not positive. Ben. I object to my last comment. You guys, Ben already called himself out, so you don't have to. Sweet tea. Sorry, I had to pause, so I am behind. I used to only have Dr. Pepper maybe once a year. But now that I'm at a gas station, I see all kinds of flavors that I want to try. Yeah, the new flavors are fun. I just like the sizes are like the bottles are so large that it's like I don't want to commit to that much of a flavor I've never tried before on the off chance I don't like it. Um, I used to so I've always loved Dr. Pepper. It's always been my favorite soda. Like in a pinch, if I gotta have a soda, I'll drink Coca-Cola. Like I have nothing against it, but Dr. Pepper's my favorite. Um, but for a while, I had to take a medication. What was it called? Shoot, I always forget. I'll remember at some point. But it was for the intracranial hypertension, and it had this odd side effect of making all carbonated beverages taste like hot garbage. Like, everything carbonated tasted terrible, including soda. It just didn't taste right anymore. So it was really sad. So I stopped drinking all soda, all carbonated stuff for, like, a year. It was the weirdest one of the weirdest side effects of a medication I've ever experienced. Um, Although I mean, I guess it had the benefit of I wasn't drinking soda for a year, so I guess that's healthier. So when I finally got to come off that medication and I had a Dr. Pepper for the first time that tasted right, I was just like, "Ah." It was lovely. It was lovely. Oh, hey, you guys. Blessed to Crochet Mary says the 21st of July will be Mr. Blessed to Crochet and Mary's 17th wedding anniversary. Oh, he got me a rocking chair so I can take my crochet outside and rock away. I love that. That sounds so soothing and that's so thoughtful too. That is awesome. And happy early anniversary. That's amazing. That's awesome. I hope you guys can, are able to take some time to do something fun or relaxing together and, spend some time with one another. That's awesome. Janelle H, good evening. How's it going? Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. Remember the Seinfeld episode where the girl thought Jerry was picking his nose? I didn't see as many Seinfeld episodes as I could have. I did later on watch Curb Your Enthusiasm by which was done by Larry David, who was the creator of Seinfeld. So I like that kind of like quirky humor. I enjoy that. I appreciate that. What? Ben, you stuck a desiccant thing up your nose? That's dangerous, man. Like, those things, like, suck up moisture. You don't want that getting stuck in your nose. That's not a good idea, my friend. I'm glad it came out of your nose. And Hummingbird, good to see you. Thanks for being here. I'm so happy to see you. And for a while, I didn't see you in chats for a while, but then I saw you back in, I think, the Lifeboat, and I can't remember if it was Relatable Reese or one of the other channels, but I'm glad to see you around again. It's good to see you. It's good to know you're here and hanging out again. No thanks on a cassowary. I've got to look this up. I've got to see what a cassowary is. Okay, I'm going to look it up, you guys. I'm going to Google it. What is a cassowary? Probably somebody's told me in the chat and I'm just like super behind. Oh, and yeah, hey, if you're just joining us, if you're enjoying hanging out with us, hit the like button. Or if you're not enjoying it, you can hit the dislike button. That's fine too. That's fine too. For Herman, if you've not been here before, if you're new, our mascot is a fish head. Well, a fish skull. A fish skull. So heads up, if that sounds gross to you, there's gonna be a fish skull on the screen for a second here. This is Herman. Hello guys. My name is Herman. Good to see you. Hello. How's it going there, guys? One of these days, I'm going to introduce him to a client on telehealth. Not really. I don't think I'm really going to do that. Unless, I don't know. I cannot think of a situation in which that would make sense to do. But if it happens, that would be pretty great. That would be pretty great. Oh no. What is it? Oh no. What did I miss? Oh no. Oh, Mary. Mary says, my aunt had a PET scan yesterday. They think her cancer is spreading, so please lift her in your prayers. I'm so sorry to hear that, Mary. If I'm behind in the chat, so if you've not already done so, you might already have ones in the chat for Mary's aunt. I hope it's not spreading. I'm gonna pray for her comfort and her good health. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's scary. Hey, Michael's Adventures. Good to see you. Hello. Michael's Adventures does a cool channel with wildlife on his trail cam and stuff like that. We get to see a cool little raccoon in the mornings, in the evening. Sometimes we get to see deer. It's pretty fun. If you like animals, if you like wildlife, it's great. Let's see. You said you haven't been home long, so I guess you were working. I haven't been streaming live as much lately because I have been, the most opportune time for me to stream is at 11 o'clock after my kiddo goes to bed. So I haven't been able to stay up as late as of late because I have to commute in the morning. So I have to get up a little bit earlier. So mostly on Fridays is when I stream these days. Don't know if Ben Bacon Bits can do Def Leppard if they are giving up sugar. That's great, Warren. I love this. That's awesome. That's clever. I like that a lot. Oh, wow. Jenna G says, I heard a story about someone who had a pet cassowary and the bird killed its owner. Ooh, eviscerated him. What? That's scary. That's scary as all get out. Now I'm really, really curious. I've got to Google a cassowary now. Or cassowary? I may not be pronouncing it correctly. Cassowaries are a flightless bird. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen these before. I just didn't. I wasn't connecting the name with the bird. So that's a cassowary. It does look like a fancy ostrich. Like, it's like an ostrich that got dressed up for, like, a special event or a fancy dinner or something. But apparently they can be mean? Ooh, that's frightening. That's frightening. Oh. With the olive oil, Janelle H., you taught me something new just now. It has to do with the pressings, 'cause I guess they have to press the olives to get the oil out. The first pressing tastes more like the fruit. Later pressings can be bitter. Oh, okay. That's good to know. I didn't know that. Sugar-free Dr. Pepper is one of the first tolerable diet drinks. I'm trying to think if I've had sugar-free Dr. Pepper recently. I don't think I have. But yeah, diet drinks have a weird, like, aspartame. It wasn't Topamax, Jesse, but I was on Topamax briefly, for the intracranial hypertension. It made me incredibly depressed and emotional. Like, I was just, like, crying all the time on Topamax, so we stopped that pretty quickly. It wasn't it wasn't a good one for me. What was it? It's like the first line was one that they use. It's like a Diamox, Diamox. Diamox is the brand name of the medication. The generic name is acetazolamide. That's the one that makes soda taste like hot garbage. Although I've heard Topamax can mess with people's taste as well. Um, but for me, Diamox had that weird, it made everything carbonated taste wacky, 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 wacky. Kim White says Australia is definitely on my bucket list, but I want to see both coasts. I love that. They say you can drive across the bottom, but not many places to stop. Don't know if that's true. Oh, I didn't know. I hadn't heard that. You know, most of the places I have been to are so I live in Texas. I live in North Texas, which is north of Dallas, and most of the places I've been are east of me or maybe just a little bit north. So, like I've been to Oklahoma, Kansas, and then everything else is east, like Arkansas, Washington D.C., Florida, like everything over here. Like I haven't been to much of this side of the map or west of Texas anyway. So, I'd like to see the western United States at some point. Hey, that's okay if you fall asleep to this live stream and hummingbird. I'm just glad to see you. I take it as a compliment if people fall asleep to me talking on a live stream. Y'all know me. I don't necessarily have like a super, cohesive topic to follow. We're just kind of like, I'm just chatting and catching up with you guys. Although I did label this one mindfulness, like, what is mindfulness? And it was just on my mind. So I thought maybe I'd chat a little bit about it. My disabled daughter would be absolutely fascinated by Herman. Does she like oddities like that, and like naturalistic things? My son is pretty fascinated by him too. But he's kind of fragile. Like he's not like shellacked or anything. He's just kind of dry. So he is pretty cool though. Guys. Hello. Oh no, Mary, I'm so sorry. They found two new spots on her lungs. I'm so sorry, Mary. I don't know the beginning of this, Ben. I do for one for each of my personalities, but don't tell Kristen, she will get concerned. Have you been diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder, Ben? That's a pretty rare disorder. Like that's pretty rare, but it does exist. Like there's some people that are super skeptical, but it does exist. Oh wow. Oh gosh, Mary, they've already put it in her chart that it may be advised to stop chemo. Well, I mean, it makes sense that, they want her to have a better quality of life for whatever time she has left because chemo can really, I mean, chemo takes it out of you. Chemo makes you feel really sick. If it's not helping so much anymore, then she's likely to be more comfortable in that case. Yeah. Yeah, this makes sense. I don't want her to suffer if that's the case. Want her to go peacefully without a plane. Yes, yes. And keep us and Hummingbird, I agree. Keep us posted, Mary. We will keep her in our thoughts and prayers. I'm pretty sure in this case, Anne Hummingbird, that Ben was referring to the song "Pour Some Sugar on Me." Pretty sure that's what he was referring to there. That's why if you quit sugar, it would be difficult to do Def Leppard. Pretty sure. They say that the cassowary is closely related to dinosaurs. What? That's awesome. Well, if Jurassic Park was correct, aren't they all? Aren't all birds related to dinosaurs? Like chickens are little dinosaurs? Hey, look, it's Susan P. Sid. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for coming. So I'm catching up. What am I? I'm missing things. I think I'm missing things. Topamax can have weird side effects with carbonation. Jesse Miller said I was on it for migraine prevention, but I don't like carbonation. Oh, well, I guess then you didn't miss it then. Showing off with our big college words. That's not a word I learned in college. I learned that one because I had to take the medication. I would have loved to never have learned that word. It was not a fun medication. It made me really tired all the time. It made me feel really dumb. Uh, and it dehydrated me a lot. Like I was thirsty as all get out all the time. It was awful. Okay, Christina, good night. Chrissy's cosplay wardrobe says I'm off to bed and everyone have a great night. Have a great night. Sleep tight. Sleep well. They're selling out of the coconut Dr. Pepper in Utah. Wow, it must be popular. You've always hated Dr. Pepper, Michael. Do you like soda in general? Is there another soda that you enjoy? I know some people that just don't like soda or pop or whatever you call it. Sleep is overrated. I mean, I would like if I could find a way to like feel rested and energized without sleeping, without needing sleep, that would be lovely. But I haven't figured that out yet. I mean, coffee or caffeine works for a little while, but it only gets me so far. So you appreciated that, sweet tea. I'm glad you appreciate the Herman voice. It's not for everybody, but since you appreciate it. Hello, guys. How's it going? It's good to see you, sweet pea. I'm glad you like my voice. Thanks. I'm gonna go swim over here. Swim, swim. Since you appreciated it. Hey, it's Miss Dragon. Good to see you. And yes, Jason P, this is the vibe. We just hang out and talk about whatever. It's awesome to just chill. That's what I like to do. I talk about very serious things all week long, so it's nice not to have to continue to be serious. Uh, or I don't know. Sometimes a lot of the time I don't actually talk as much. I do a lot more listening, but it's usually about very serious things. So, ooh, a squirrel. And Hummingbird says, I have a squirrel in my yard. First time in 30 years, and he didn't run. I got about a foot away and had a little chat with him. That's funny. My dad has an ongoing battle with squirrels. My parents have a pecan tree in their backyard, and it grows pecans every year. And he likes to gather them all up and keep them and eat them and have my mom put them in cookies and stuff like that. But the squirrels want to eat the pecans because they're squirrels. So he gets pissed off at the squirrels whenever he sees them out there, and he actually tries to shoot them with a BB gun. Sorry, that probably upset some people. Typically, the BB gun doesn't kill them, though. Typically, it just like pops them like in the butt a little bit. Although I do think there was an unfortunate loss of squirrel one time. So that did happen. That did happen. But there are a lot of squirrels in their neighborhood. So it's not like you're endangered for sure. Ooh, that's a good way to describe a cassowary. Like a peacock morphed with a rooster and it had an ostrich, says Jason P. I like that. I like you. Don't like coconut either. None of the soda, none of the Dr. Pepper. It's not for everybody, that's for sure. Would you really this is wonderful, Anne Hummingbird, I love this. At karaoke, people would sing "Pour Some Sugar on Me," and I would pour a sugar packet on that. I love this. What if, um what if they were doing a very poor job? Would you then pour, like, a Sweet and Low or a stevia packet on them? Sorry, that wasn't as good a joke. Ooh, really? Miss Dragon says, "Good lord, I'm uploading a 3-hour premiere for tomorrow. It's on an external, and it's taking over 30 hours." Wow! I'm excited to see what that is, Miss Dragon. A 3-hour premiere? That's awesome. Yes, yes, please, please. If you have not already done so, just peace prayers and ones for Mary's aunt, or good thoughts for her peace and well-being and comfort. Oh, hey, it's Mr. Brad Boy. I haven't seen you in a while either. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. I get to see all people I've been missing. Mountain Dew is your soda? Michael's Adventures? Mountain Dew. Actually, I don't know if I've ever had Mountain Dew. I think I was just always into Dr. Pepper, so I never tried it. Amazingly, I didn't like soda as a kid, but I do now, says Warren Shull. Didn't like it as a kid, even though it's got all the sugar in it. Most people love the sugar when they're kids, but I drink more alcohol than soda. That's fair. Some alcohol has a lot of sugar in it too, for sure, though. Would we sing Suddenly Herman instead of Seymour? Suddenly Seymour. My husband was a technical theater teacher in high school. He just changed job this year, but so he was a theater teacher in middle school for 7 years, a technical theater teacher in high school for 7 years, and one of the very first plays they did was Little Shop of Horrors. So and that was before we had our son, so I had a lot of time on my hands, so I went to, like, every performance of it, but that group of kids he had that year were really good vocalists, like, they were really talented. So I had that song stuck in my head all the time. They did a great job with it. What are Atkins M&Ms? Oh, like the Atkins diet version. Yeah, yeah, usually, like, the diet version of candy, I don't think is always that's usually not great. I love this, Janelle H. You're reminding me to come back to what I titled this. I'm working on a mindfulness sort of drawing this evening. So this has come up like 3, 4, 5 times this past week for me this week, and someone that I was talking to, like, had talked about going to, like, meditation classes and stuff like that, and they talked about mindfulness, but, like, it didn't really make sense the way they were explaining it. So what's funny is, like, there's mindfulness as it's discussed in, like, Buddhist traditions, and then there's mindfulness as it's discussed in, like, the therapy, like, mental health type space. Um, Now it kind of it does originally draw from, like, Buddhist traditions. Um, it kind of started getting integrated into, therapeutic practice and anxiety management and chronic pain management and things like this. Um, the reason I know a little bit about it is because I wrote my undergrad honors thesis about mindfulness and its relationship to physical stuff like blood pressure, like heart rate variability. Of course, our subjects were college students. They all have great blood pressure no matter what. So it wasn't a really great like it wasn't a really great population to do a study like that with, but in the process I did learn about a lot about mindfulness as a skill, as a concept, and as a coping technique. Basically, like, in a nutshell, what mindfulness is it's allowing yourself to be aware of the present moment, what's happening right now in your world wherever you are, without judgment. Like, just being fully aware of the present moment, what's going on for you now, without judging it, without calling it good or bad, just saying, this is the thing that's happening in my life right now. And the idea behind it being helpful for coping with things like anxiety, depression, all kinds of unpleasant states is that a lot of our suffering comes not necessarily all from the thing we're experiencing. Some of it does, for sure. Like, if you stub your toe, it's going to hurt. But then the other part of the suffering comes from how we evaluate it, like how we judge the situation. Like, I stubbed my toe and it hurts. The part that I then go to is if I then judge it as like, "Oh man, this sucks, like my whole day is ruined, like I'm not gonna be able to wear the shoe I wanted to." Like that's all my evaluation. That's all that my judgment of that moment. So mindfulness is allowing you to be aware of what's going on right now and not judging it. It takes practice though, because like for most of us, like human beings, we're like judging machines. Like we constantly feel the need to evaluate our circumstances and figure out, are we safe? Is this good? Is this bad? Is this something I want? Is it something I don't want? Um, but when it comes to things like anxiety, you know, over things that are not necessarily dangerous, it can be a good tool to kind of approach those things. So, like one way I might apply it is for if I have like intrusive thoughts, for example. And if you've ever had intrusive thoughts, you just know that it's like random stuff that pops into your head that may be extremely unpleasant. Stuff like, oh, I hate that person's eyebrow. It might be your best friend, and then you think to yourself, wow, where did that thought come from? I didn't want to think that. I like this person. I love this person. They're my best friend, boyfriend, cousin, whatever. I don't want to think nasty things about them. Why am I thinking about their eyebrow? So then you start judging yourself for your own thoughts, and then you get all worked up in your head, and then that can contribute to a negative, not so fun mental emotional state. Applying mindfulness to your thoughts or intrusive thoughts is basically like looking at each thought you have as like a little leaf, like floating on a river. Like thoughts, like they just go by on this river. And you can choose to grab a leaf and pick it up and look at it and get all attached to it and think really hard about it. You can like turn that thought over and over in your head and like dwell on it and call it, good or bad or makes me a bad person or whatever. Or you can decide, I'm just going to let that leaf float on by because thoughts can be really, really random. They pop into your head without anybody meaning for them to. As much as we like to, we don't always control the random crap that pops into our head. Just like we don't always control the random crap that pops into our head while we're sleeping, we don't always control it while we're awake either, especially if you've got a really busy, really active mind. And a lot of people with anxiety do. So, one of those exercises is thinking of these thoughts as they're just leaves floating on a river rushing by. I don't like this one. This one's not really useful to me, so I'm just going to let it float on by. I weird thought about that guy's eyebrow. I don't need to get attached to you. That's a thought. That's a thing I had. Doesn't have to mean anything to me. It just is. If it's useful to me, I can pick it up and I can keep it. So that's kind of part of mindfulness in a nutshell. There is a lot more to it. There's ways to cultivate it as a skill. Coloring is one way to do it. You're kind of focusing in on one thing and like really being in the present moment and aware of it. There's lots of ways to cultivate mindfulness, though. So I am going to catch up on the chat now that I have done a little mini monologue about mindfulness. Rob Lowe. Ben Bacon that says, Rob Lowe loves me. That's why he wants me to eat Atkins, so it won't kill me. Rob Lowe wrote an interesting memoir. I mean, I don't know how much of it he wrote or if he had a helper write, like a ghostwriter or something, but it was interesting anyway. It was called Stories I Only Tell My Friends. It was interesting. And he narrated the audiobook. So it was worth the Audible credit to me. I enjoyed it. Ooh, Mary sent me a picture. Oh, of the last picture I will have with my aunt. Oh, let me see. Let me see. Where's my messages? Oh, this is a beautiful picture of you guys at Christina's wedding. I love this photo of you guys, Mary. Thank you for sharing this. I love this photo at your daughter's wedding. I love that. Thank you for sharing that with us, Mary. Okay, this is a new theory I've not seen. Dinosaurs were here as the gravity was less. Then mankind used a moon to travel to Earth as Mars died. Once the moon was here, the extra gravity wouldn't allow their huge bodies to survive. You know what? I like this theory. It's different. I've not heard this before. It's unique. I enjoy it. Thank you, Rick. Yeah, definitely I second this. Miss Dragon says, Mary, I'm sorry, but I'm glad you got that time with her. Yeah. There's no good way to well, there's no right way to handle something like that as long as you don't go through it alone, you know? There's something called anticipatory grief that people experience sometimes when they're thinking they might be expecting, things to not go so well. Um, and there's no right or wrong way to handle stuff like that as long as you don't go through it alone. So I'm glad you're here, Mary, and I'm glad you're talking to us. I'm glad you're reaching out. Ooh, no soda for Jason P. He's an H2O guy. You know what? That's way healthier for you. I'm going to drink some water now that you said that. This is my water. This is my soda. Somewhere around here, I have coffee. That's old coffee, though. I'm not going to drink that. I almost always have minimum 2 beverages, usually 3. I usually have a water, I usually have a coffee, something with caffeine, and then I usually have something just fun, like a tea or something like that. It's a weird thing. I think that my husband showed me a meme called, it was a silly video called "A Beverage Goblin," and it was, "A beverage goblin must always have 3 drinks at all times." And he said that it seemed like me, and I couldn't argue with him. Ooh. Michael's Adventures had a 2-hour premiere last week, and that's awesome. I think I have it in my catch-up queue to go check out. Like I said, guys, I have been behind on my YouTube content that I enjoy. Warren says, once at a karaoke, a group of people sang "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and immediately after that, I sang "Smells Like Nirvana." I love that. That's fun. That's really fun. He could, Ben Bacon Bits. Kevin Bacon could be my spirit animal. Have you guys ever played the Kevin Bacon game? Where, like, you try to connect to celebrities or people, um, to back to Kevin Bacon by or any one celebrity or person back to Kevin Bacon. I think you're supposed to try to do it in, like, 5 degrees or less, or, like, it's like a competition to see how few people you can connect through. I was never that good at it. But Kevin Bacon's been in a lot of things, that's why the game exists. Mr. Brad Boy says, "Anyway, I had a good day, went to watch fireworks." Oh, that's fun. At a festival and had fried cinnamon roll. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I was excited even though it was smaller than Cedar Points. It was less traffic and easier to get out. Hey, I love that. That's great. I don't know what sun I'll be at the cabin from Sunday to Thursday. Okay, gotcha. I was thinking, is this something about turtles or toes? What does this mean? Sunday to Thursday. That makes sense. Was somebody not behaving? What did I miss? And behave. I'm going back to see. Ah! Okay, I see what she's referring to. Pretty sure she was referring to the soda, but this is funny. I love y'all. Y'all are hilarious. She's in Florida. We can't go to see her at this time. I'm so sorry, Mary. Florida's a ways away for sure. Rick, this is not the place to promote behaving. I won't be allowed in. Well, you guys, I probably wouldn't be allowed in either. So I don't require behaving as long as you're nice and respectful to one another. But that doesn't necessarily mean you have to behave. Like, I don't know. I guess it's a different kind of behaving, right? Let's see. Exactly. Maya, aka Alice Nart's Play Hoarder Land. Buddhist mindfulness and adult coloring book mindfulness. I prefer the coloring book. They don't even have to be mutually exclusive though. Like the concept, from my understanding, originated in Buddhist traditions, but then it was kind of taken and applied to other settings like therapeutic settings, coping settings. One of the coolest studies I read about that applied mindfulness was a program developed called mindfulness based stress reduction, and it was tested and taught like as a group modality, as a group therapy to folks with chronic pain issues who for whatever reason either medication was not effective or they could not take medication, so for all kinds of different things. Um, but part of the idea behind like coping with chronic pain is that part of the discomfort of course comes from the pain itself, but then that discomfort is increased by the like assessment like or the value judgment of that pain, and like the approach and the thoughts around like, oh, I can't cope with this or I can't deal with this. So there was a program called mindfulness based stress reduction that was used in folks with chronic pain, and like over time this did help them cope. It helped not necessarily like lessen the pain altogether, but it increased their ability to cope and feel like they could live a full life. Because part of it really is about like kind of, noticing what's going on in your body and what's going on around you too. So still honoring it, but just not putting a value judgment on it. Just kind of like acknowledging like I'm in pain. I'm uncomfortable right now. And that's something that exists. But it takes practice. And there's lots of different, like, small daily mindfulness practices a person can do. Like, the first one I got into was like a guided meditation CD. It was, when people mostly did CDs instead of audio files back then. But there were lots of different kinds. Like, there's eating mindfulness meditation, like mindfulness of eating. That's really great for folks that struggle with overeating because when we overeat, we tend to like chew through our food really fast. We tend to like eat more than we would because we're not slowing down enough to realize that we are full. So, mindfulness of eating, those kinds of exercises, the one that I did is with a raisin. And they walk you through like noticing every little thing about the raisin, like how large is it? Like, how is it wrinkly? Like, what color is it? Like, before you even start eating it. Um, but it's one of those things that if you do it over time, it becomes more natural to do in the moment, but it takes practice first because it's not necessarily an immediate way for humans to be, right? Like we all kind of want to jump to the judgment of the situation to evaluate, right? But when we're in a situation we can't change, um, it can help to look at it with less value judgment on it. Ben, I love you. So, yes, we will bring it back. Practice mindfulness. It is good to blow desiccant out of your nose. Ben, you're great. You're awesome. I love you. Yes. Hey, that's a good point. Yes, Cam. Mindfulness is how you can get around the ADHD problem of not being as satisfied with food as a neurotypical. I hadn't tell me, like, I don't know a whole lot about the experience of food within ADHD. Like, I've read and studied a lot about ADHD and like the problem of like focusing and like being motivated and stuff like that. But the food part, that's new to me. Like, I'd like to hear and look into more about that. That sounds really interesting. Um, but I dated someone with very, very active, like, ADHD. Like, he had been on medication most of his childhood, and then he went off it at 18 or so because he felt kinda numb by it. Um, and so that was, ultimately better for him, but then he had to, like, totally recalibrate and refigure out how to manage his life without this medication. And Hummingbird says, "I'm having trouble controlling any thoughts, random or not." That's the thing. It's okay, like, to not necessarily have control over thoughts, right? Like, the first thing that pops into our head is typically involuntary. Like, thoughts do that. They just pop into your head involuntarily. And some people have intrusive thoughts that are very upsetting to them, like it might be like violent or disturbing in some way. And this really concerns people. And they think, oh, I had this like really terrible thought. Does that mean I'm a violent person? Well, no, not necessarily. Like, I mean, are you holding on to it? Are you gonna actually act on it? Are you gonna do the thing? Well, no, then it's probably just something random that popped into your head, right? Just like we can't control what pops up in our dreams, we can't always control what first pops up in our thoughts. Um, if we choose to hold on to it, like attach meaning to it and follow it and do something with it, then that's a different thing. Cool. I love this, Jesse. Jesse Miller says, I have done some mindfulness meditations. It takes practice, but can be a helpful skill for sure. It's actually, I don't know if maybe some of y'all have heard about it in like I think he's talked about it on the lifeboat about DBT, dialectical behavior training. It is a step in that kind of therapeutic modality. Mindfulness is one of the things that's taught in dialectical behavior training. The whole idea behind a dialectic is that everything has an opposite thing, like good and bad. Um, this is, like tasty and disgusting. And the idea is that for some people, or in some times, it's difficult not to look at things in this all or nothing kind of way. Most of the time, the healthy, more adaptive way to interpret things lies somewhere in between the two extremes, is the idea behind dialectical behavior training and dialectical behavior therapy. So, part of it is about teaching ourselves to find that gray area, to find that middle ground. So we're not stuck in these cycles of like, oh, this person was my great friend and I loved them and they're awesome, but they did this one thing that upset me and now they suck and now they're dead to me. Well, that's not necessarily the case. Like they might still be a good friend, but they might have made a mistake. So there's the gray area, in between the two opposites. So that's part of what. And this can lead to a lot of emotional dysregulation, right? Having, that view of things. So that's where mindfulness comes in. Is it's a way to teach ourselves to kind of slow down, take the information in without necessarily immediately jumping to judgment of it. And Hummingbird says, I used to be pretty good with mindfulness. Lately, I have just been a mess. Hey, I think we are all a mess at times. For myself, I need to recommit to a daily mindfulness practice for sure. I could definitely benefit from it. I tend to have a lot of crap going through my head pretty much 24/7. And when I don't have the crap going through my head 24/7, I'm like listening to something. So I need to practice it more. Um, so the person who's so there's all kinds of material out there on mindfulness. Like if you Google it, you can find all kinds of stuff. This is kinda the OG who brought it to, like, Western, like, therapy. This guy named John Kabat-Zinn. He wrote a bunch of different books. He recorded a bunch of, like, guided meditations. So I like his stuff, just because he was kinda he's not the OG, that would be, Buddhist traditions, but he's kind of the OG who integrated it into Western therapeutic practice. So that's something to look into if you're interested. Yeah, Miss Dragon says same thing. And Hummingbird, I hear you. My routine is way off having hubby home. Yeah, when your routine gets messed up, that messed up with all kinds of things. Aw, thank you, Mary. Rick, you must have known I was working on the blanket I'm doing for Kristen's son. It's dinosaurs. We love dinosaurs. That's so kind, Mary. Yes. When things gets hard, it's definitely tough to practice mindfulness and have it be helpful. Yeah, it is for sure. Yeah, I wanna validate that absolutely positively. I like the guided meditations because I can, like, put it on and, like, listen to it and kinda go with it. I had a therapist that I used to see who once advised me, like, because I like to listen to a lot of guided meditations and stuff like that walked me through things, and she told me once, like, "Kristen, you should get a script and you should read it out loud, and you can do the guided meditation, but you should listen to yourself." Which sounds, like, absolutely torturous to me because that's me listening to my voice, and it feels weird. But her big thing with me was like, you need to trust yourself more, like you need to stop being so um like codependent and like look to other people for your moods and stuff like that. So I think she was onto something, but it still feels weird to listen to my own voice on a meditation. That feels odd. Mist says today and yesterday have been a bunch of emotions. It would have been Bradley's birthday yesterday and my wedding anniversary today. I'm definitely sleeping in tomorrow. Yeah, I think that is a good time to sleep in. That's tough, Miss Dragon. A lot of emotions for sure. And it's your wedding anniversary today? Wow. So, like, there's a good thing and then there's a difficult thing, like, all at once. Happy anniversary, but also, like, one's in love, and my heart goes out to you thinking about, Bradley and missing him. Yes, exactly. I second what Jason P said. Sleep away, Mist. Sleep away as much as you need to. It's a good day to do it. I have a hair appointment in the morning. Actually, I should probably log off soon because it's at 8 o'clock in the morning. That was the only time she had open. I was originally like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I wasn't going to leave my, pretty new job early. Like I had people scheduled and I didn't want to reschedule them. So I should probably go to bed soon. Janelle H says, Kristen, have you heard of a program called Wild 5 Wellness? Mindfulness is one of the 5 areas, along with sleep hygiene, socializing, activity level, and nutrition. It's out of a university in Texas. That sounds really cool. I haven't heard of that specific one, but that sounds neat. I'm going to look it up actually. I'm glad that you mentioned that. I love that. That sounds like it would be really cool. I'm always into learning about like new like self therapy, like self therapeutic programs. Ooh, it's a book, Wildfire Wellness Kickstart 30, a proven 30-day mental wellness program. I love this. No cost. We all love no cost, right? Because I have like a love-hate relationship with self-help, right? Like self-help books. Some of them are grounded in like research supported, like really solid stuff. But then other self-help literature is just kind of like, well, not literature. Other self-help books are really just kind of like somebody trying to sell you something. Which, no shade to that. Like a lot of us live in the United States, which is largely capitalist and people got to make money to live, but if it's going to like tout itself as something that's going to improve your life, for me, I'd rather like, okay, does it actually help with those things though? Or is it just to like, sell me another book? Wild 5, a proven path to wellness. This is really cool. About Wild 5, research behind Wild 5. This is so cool. I think I'm gonna look into this, and if they're okay with it, maybe I'll review it. This looks fun, but it looks like not overly like it's not overly wordy, so it's like approachable. Because some stuff on mindfulness is like really really like wordy and it's almost like, I have a life. I don't have time for all that. But this looks like really doable. I like this. Thank you for sharing this, Janelle H. I'm excited to look into it. It was helpful against my depression after SSRIs crapped out. Man, SSRIs do that, and it's a bummer. I'm like 20 minutes behind in the chat. Yes, I need to try this on camera. That's on the docket for tomorrow. Docket? Plan, list. I'm not at court. I'm not a lawyer. Okay, guys. I'm so behind in the chat. I'm gonna have to skip some things. And I hate doing that, but I'm still like looking through to make sure like whenever I hear adult coloring book, I think a book like with Ron Jeremy that you color. That's fabulous. Thank you for the laugh, Ben. Crochet can be a mindfulness activity. It does allow you to kind of just get in the flow of the present moment. Crochet can be very mindful for sure. Yeah, coloring is, yeah, when my mother was in the hospital, I brought her a lot of adult coloring books. But now that Ben said that, I'm thinking of them differently. I'll just say coloring books. Oh dear. Who's gonna tell? Who's gonna tell her? Okay, Jason's on it. All right, all right. Ah, Lauren, everything happens for a reason. I love you guys. Oh yeah, do not Google this unless you are prepared for um what is the scientific word? Unless you are prepared for images of genitalia, do not Google Run Jeremy. Oh no, you already Googled. Oh no, you already Googled. It's too late. Mon already Googled. We didn't save her in time. No. Oh no. Apparently Ann Hummingbird, apparently our dear friend, Mon, my dear sister, Googled Ron Jeremy because she didn't know who he was. So we warned her not to. But I was too behind in the chat. I was too late to warn her. Did it take the whole screen? You probably had to scroll a little, didn't you? I think I spit on my microphone when I laughed, you guys. I actually don't know who Marilyn Chambers is. I might Google it, but I'm gonna Google it after I'm not on the live, you guys. Oh my gosh, and during this time I was so behind in the chat. This is when I was still talking about mindfulness. Oh no. Y'all are hilarious. I love you guys. I love it here. This is one of my favorite things. Yes, Jesse. Jesse said I was going to bring up Kabat-Zinn. I've read a little of his books and listened to some of his meditations. Yes. Oh my goodness. Ben. I was just over here polishing my halo. I think you might have to, Mon. I might put you poison timeout for 10 seconds. Jesse, I didn't do this yet. Jesse Miller says, "Oh, that's interesting thought to record your own meditation. I actually recorded one from a subscription box on my channel. Did you record a meditation to listen to, Kristen?" I have not yet, but actually you know what I could do? I could do it for my channel and then like I have it like for me, but it's if I want to try that. Um, but maybe other people can benefit from it too. That would be fun. And I would feel like even if I got to where, oh, I don't like listening to my own voice because it feels weird, like I still will have done it for, a good purpose, good reason. And Hummingbird, if you are struggling to find a therapist in your area, state, I know of a few good resources. So if you're looking for someone you want to see in person, like physically in the same room with them, there's a resource I like called psychologytoday.com. I'll write it out. And what it is it is a search database of different licensed therapists. You can search by area, you can search by specialty, you can search by if you want someone who can take your insurance, you can search by what kind of insurance you have. Like depending on what your insurance have, I have seen people with co-pays as low as like $18 a session for therapy, which is great. Now, some people have those deductibles, and so they pay like $90 a session until they hit their deductible, and then it's very much more affordable. So that's one avenue I like, especially if you're looking for an in-person therapist. If you are more into like, you know what, I really just want telehealth, like I want to see someone like sooner and I want to stay in the comfort of my own home and just use my internet. There are a lot of good databases for that now. I mean, you have to find like you still have to find an individual therapist on them that you like, that you feel comfortable with, but a couple of those are going to be, let's see, there's betterhelp.com, there's also sondermind.com. That's one of them. And Sondermind. Those are a couple of databases that have like online, like telehealth therapy. And a lot of those can still accept insurance as well. So those are worth looking into. And if you let me know what state you're in, there is an off chance that I might know people who are licensed in your state. For a while, I worked for a company that was pretty national. So I mean, most of the people I know are in Texas, but different parts of Texas. But I do know some people in Oklahoma. For a while I knew some people in Louisiana. So if you're comfortable sharing what state you're in, I can see if I know anybody there that I would recommend or that I trust. I don't know everybody in the whole United States, but I know some people in other states besides Texas. Yeah. This is a good point too. I think our online community is the best therapy I ever known. Social support, peer support is so important. It's so, so, so important. Therapy is awesome. Like if you are fortunate enough to like have be able to afford and have access to a mental health therapist, and that's fabulous. And I am a huge proponent of it, otherwise I wouldn't be one. But I would never like I tell everybody I see that you need to do some kind of peer support, some kind of social support between sessions because it it's the secret sauce. It accelerates everything. Like like I can listen and I can give you a lot of feedback and a lot of good tools in a session, but um you're not going to be able to apply it as well if you don't have that social support and that feedback from other people who understand what you're going through. And that peer support also gives you the opportunity to kind of like see yourself through other people's perspective. And also, like, they can see like changes in you if you're trying different techniques and coping skills and things like that too. So I love therapy, but I also feel like peer support is a secret sauce. I feel like they work together. I feel like one doesn't work without the other as well, if that makes any sense. Hey, college level hardboards. Good to see you. Hello, folks. I hope you have all been staying safe amidst this ongoing heat wave. We sure have had our fair share of fun with it. Cam, I hope you make it on time for your hair appointment. Man, at this rate, I don't know. I don't know if I will. I might sleep in. I don't do big things to my hair. I just get it cut every few months just to like keep the dead ends, just to like keep it healthy. I used to not go for like years. Like I would literally like I would go 3 years without even getting my hair trimmed. But I'm trying to be better about the basic self-care thing. Janet G. Just know if you're gonna Google, be prepared. Be prepared. Be prepared. No, you're not sheltered, says Anne. You're just Canadian. You're not you're not sheltered, you're just Canadian. Nice. She had to switch to portrait. 7th. That's good. Oh, is that what it's called? Warren, the Kevin Bacon game? Warren Shull says, look up Erdos Bacon number. The game of finding connections to Kevin Bacon with movies is also played with Paul Erdos and mathematical papers. I didn't know that. That's awesome. I definitely would not win that game. I'm not as well versed on mathematical papers. This is wonderful. If you came to a live and you laughed so hard you have to wash your glasses, then like we've done our work. We've done our job, right? That's what we want. California is where Anne is. I don't know anybody in California. That bums me out. But like if you're looking into like a practice or something, like I do know how to like look up people though. Like I can help you look up if they have any board complaints or stuff like that to make sure that they're at least trustworthy. What I would also say about I should just make a video on this sometime about finding a therapist and how you decide if they're a good therapist or not. Um, so there's a lot of things that therapists are trained in that we can do. There's cognitive behavioral therapy, there's dialectical behavior therapy, there's interpersonal therapy, there's EMDR, which is an approach to treating trauma. And these can all be really helpful and these can all be really, really great for different things. But at the end of the day, if you don't connect with your therapist, if you don't feel comfortable with them, if you don't feel like I'm comfortable enough with this person, I get a good vibe, I can share my personal stuff with them. If you don't have that with them, then it's not going to be helpful. Because you have to be able to share like your some pretty personal stuff with this person. And like I tell everybody that I meet for the first time, like, hey, we have a lot of great therapists in this practice, and I would love to work with everybody I can, but I may not be the best person for you. Like maybe somebody who was really mean to you years ago looked like me. And so you don't feel comfortable talking to me. That's no one's fault. But that means I'm not the best therapist for you. And it doesn't have to, so credentials are important, licenses are important for sure. Training is important. You want to make sure that they're not like scamming you or something like that, or, going to be unethical. But it's really important that it's someone you're comfortable with. So, like, even this last time when I found my own therapist, like, I the first one I tried, she wasn't it for me. And there was nothing wrong with her. She was very kind. Like, I'm sure she would have been a great therapist for someone else. She just didn't have the style that like I needed that worked for me. Like I need someone who's blunt, almost rude, but in a kind way. So that's what I found. That's what worked for me. A devastating revelation for Janet G to discover in this community. Mon, our fine gentleman here doing the Lord's work. Okay, you guys. I think Mary, my good friend Mary, my sister Mary, I think she put the link to Chow Yun Smut earlier. I think I'm gonna wrap it up because it is almost 1 o'clock in the morning, at least Central Time Zone where I am in my neck of the woods. And that is usually when our friend Cricket, her channel Chow Yun Smut, that's usually when she goes live. So I don't like to overlap with my friends who I like to support. That's why I like to wait till after the boat's done. And obviously there's a lot of people that do awesome content. And so sometimes I'm probably going to mess up, but I try really hard not to overlap with anybody because I want to be there and I don't want anyone to feel like they have to choose either. Um, I am going to post her link again. Janet. KM, this is what you get for only doing one live stream a week. We save up all our crazy for you. I love that you save up all your crazy for me. I love it. Like, it's fun. Y'all are great. Y'all are fantastic. I love hanging out with you guys. I love your crazy. I love your silly. It's a blast for me. Um, I hope nobody was too scarred by the Googling of Ron Jeremy this evening. I tried to warn, but that's what happens when I get behind in the chat. There's Chow Yun Smut. There's Cricket's link. So I will hop over there to say hello and then probably go to sleep. You guys are awesome. I miss you guys. Love you guys. Thank you for being here. I will see you guys over at Chow Yun Smut or in one of the other channels and chats we all like to hang out in. And thank you so much, mods. Y'all are the best. Y'all are awesome. Thanks, everybody. Y'all have a good night. Bye. Take care.